My name is Jonathan Parks, and welcome to Jonathan's Nature Crafts. I must inform you that I do not live in this house by myself, but live here with other people. Sometimes other members of the household may have to walk through areas where I might be recording with other family members on the phone. If you hear any noise like that, please feel free to disregard. We are doing our best to get noise-canceling equipment, which may at least keep you from hearing exactly what is being said. Thank you for considering. Well, this was a moment that I decided to come on here just to kind of give y'all little updates about things. I don't have my little earpiece and microphone in because I'm doing it in the privacy of a bedroom where no other noise is present, but did want to say concerning what you saw in the video last night, I did end up making it to the visitation and do feel much better since I have. And, you know, it's all better now. I'm feeling better mentally and emotionally, a little more stable now. And as of all, I'd like to come on here to share and to say I appreciate those of you who offered condolences in the little comments you made on the video for last night. And while I'm at it, I would like to tell you all a little bit about the phrase, I choose charity over bitterness, that you'll often see on my work, and I've even shared some information about it when I first started this YouTube channel, but kind of want to tell you all a little about it again. One thing I'd kind of give you all as an example is the ways that sometimes pieces I have that stay in my inventory for so long and don't get sold, they often end up being used to do things like become gifts or be donated to certain charities and used or sold certain ways. I could tell you all over the years how I've made all these polymer clay angels. Some of them I just kind of made out of different colors of polymer clay and used different colors to kind of make the little rays of sunshine between the two halves of them and the little clouds around them. And those are something which I used to post on some of my older accounts, but so many of those older accounts that I had them on had gotten deleted over time because, you know, I just didn't really know the rules, how they changed to some sites, and got my pages flagged, so I've had to start new ones since. And it just so happened, since getting all of that together, that I kind of thought at first I was going to try to sell things that were kind of my own mind, my own fascination and things, and it didn't go so well because it wasn't what people were interested in, and a lot of that stuff just really didn't get sold because it just wasn't popular, wasn't what people were looking for. But out of all those angels like that I had, I will tell you all about a certain lady who is the sister of that pastor where I used to go to church, and I told you all that it was their dad who passed away, who was the deacon and the senior Sunday school teacher. But one thing I will tell you about her is that she's been a good friend since the time I first started going there, and one of the ways we became friends was I made for her all these little care packages of my homemade crafts over the years and sent them to her as gifts, and I'd say that was kind of one way we sort of got a little bit started out. And it just so happened that even that kind of declined a little bit over the years because I was kind of getting busy just doing stuff for kind of like business purposes, and of course a lot of the care packages I stopped doing them as much because, there's just a lot of reasons why it couldn't continue that I'll just get into sometime later with you, tell you another time. But in this particular case, I decided to send her a whole box full of those angels and let her distribute them around to all the bereaved family members just to try to cheer them all up. They all appreciated it, and they hugged me for it when I attended that visitation last night, so it all went well. And I'd give you all another example is, since I felt so good today, there were some squids and flamingos I've carved out of twigs in the past that hardly ever sold when I took them out to places except for special autism events. And there's a place here in my town called Military Missions that takes donations of things, and they'll take donations of things like that and auction them to try to get money to send packages overseas to the soldiers of the things you donate, like clothes and socks and things that they need. And that was where a couple of those little carvings went this morning. But what I want to tell you a little bit more about the phrase is that it came off of that Malcolm X phrase, choose courage over fear. And there were just a lot of reasons I had to use that phrase. I will tell you all, there is a lot in my life I could choose to be bitter about. The thing of it is, I've been mistreated for being disabled, mistreated for the way I talk, mistreated for the way I think. And that's just kind of a world where I've just been bullied because I've been on the autism spectrum all my life. And only until I reached a certain age in high school, I hadn't been diagnosed. And there was just a lot of this labeling, the R word that went on. And even in places where I've worked as an adult, I've worked with adults who acted just like kids in school and picked on me because I was different. And I used to write a lot of articles about it that I called Aspie tracts, to try to explain what was at that time called Asperger's to people, just to try to give people a little bit better understanding, because the way I got treated just for having that was just a word I really had to get out. And besides the fact that, I've been treated in enough ways all my life that for the rest of my life I could choose to be bitter about. But I've always just chosen to try to choose charity instead. Try to show love to people instead. Try to be a blessing to people instead. Kind of just learn that sometimes, like you'll see, sometimes some of the kindest people out there, they're probably as kind as they are because somebody's mistreated them. They probably know what it's like to have somebody be not so kind to you, to the point that you just kind of want to be more kind, and that is just the kind of thing where, with all I could be bitter about, I started taking that phrase, I choose charity over bitterness, and back in the days when I was distributing cassette tapes of my music and little CDs and MP3s, I started out taking little pieces of sticker note and handwriting, I choose charity over bitterness, onto things and placing them onto the dust covers of these cassette tapes I passed out of music I recorded. I never was a professional musician, so never could make money off of it, so I just freely distributed it just to try to get a name out and get known about and kind of get people to hear what I had to sing and say and rap and things like that. And eventually there came the time when I started kind of printing it out on labels and putting little heart stickers on the labels along with it, and putting it kind of inside the little dust covers of some CDs that I sort of mailed out to governors and presidents and prime ministers around the world and to senators. And it was just one of those things where even with that, I kind of made some little crafts as gifts sometimes, and I would put that phrase on them just to kind of share it around. And even before I got really into carving wood and things like that, I had already kind of used that phrase on a lot of things. And then eventually I just started putting them on crafts as well, putting them on my wood carvings and learning how to laminate them with Mod Podge or super glue so that they don't come off the wood when it gets oiled and things like that. So I would just say that that particular phrase, it's just been the story of my life. I've shared it around for years, and I've even recorded a video in the past where I've explained that phrase to people, told them the meaning of it, told them what it was all about. And that is just one of those things where I'd like to share so much more and let you all know so much more. And of all the ways that I've just always tried to show love to people, I've kind of had to go into a social effectiveness training group and learn how to do it in an appropriate way, in a way people would understand. And you know, it's always just one of those things where in your life, you know, things are going to happen and people see that phrase on my work and they ask me, what does it mean? And one time a little kid asked me that, and I told him, well, you know, the older you get, you'll start to learn that there are going to be those who will be good to you, and there are going to be those who are going to mistreat you. And that's going to leave you with two choices. You can either be bitter about it or be better about it. And I'd say if you don't let that get to you, and if you choose to show kindness instead for all the treatment you've taken, that's what that phrase is going to mean for you. So I just wanted to tell you all that that's the meaning of the phrase, the story behind it, so much more to share. And I would like to say that this is a time when I come on here to tell you all that, because it's a hard time for me to carve right now with all I'm kind of doing just to kind of keep up with some of my housework and keep up with my social life. So I'll be back around to tell you all more, and hopefully sooner or later even get back to some videos where I will carve or sew once again as well. I hope you all enjoy listening to this. Take care, and thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I hope to see you in the next video. Stay tuned.